Hello, what is going on? Happy Black History Month. It is your girl, Nika Smith here with some exciting information when it comes to the world of BlackProGen and everything that I am currently doing. And so just want to give you all some time to arrive and see what is going on in our world and kind of see who is tuning in. Hello, Tiara. Thanks so much for joining me this afternoon. It is February 3rd, you guys. That means Black History Month is on and cracking. If you didn't get the memo, I am so sorry for you, but Black History Month is in full swing. We have a ton of stuff going on in the world of BlackProGen Live. There was no way I could not come before you to dive into everything that we are doing. You know, we started off the month with a fantastic win by the Kansas City Chiefs. Got to shout out Patrick Mahomes, including I have a Trask 250 who was part of the winning team of the Kansas City, Missouri Chiefs. But what's going on? Hey, James, I see you. All right. Yes, Karen Roy, you're in the house. Tom Reed, you're in the house. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I've decided that I'm going to start doing these videos at the beginning of each month so you guys know what in the world is going on with BlackProGen, along with what is going on in the world of Nika Smith, which is a lot. This month is jam-packed. Like when I say jam-packed, it is jam-packed. It is just... Lord today. There's just so much going on. I don't know if you all have noticed it, but I have alerts set up on my Gmail account, you know, and through Google for news. Anytime they mention certain terms like Black History Month, African American genealogy, research, Black cemeteries, there's a number of things that I have set up to get notifications about. And my inbox has been lighting up over the last 4 or 5 days with stuff going on across the country. Be sure to check your local news outlets, whether it's paper, the newspaper, magazines, or television, to see what's going on. One of the things that I love to do when I lived in the Bay Area, KQED is the PBS station that's there, and they always put out a Black History Month guide to all the programming that they were putting on television during the month of February. And so I would print the guide out and kind of, you know, check mark all the stuff off that I was super interested in watching. And then if it was coming on at like a crazy time, I would always just set the DVR. And then that way you have months of programming. Even if you can't get to everything during the month of February, you have access to it as long as you have your DVR. And so that's something to set up yourself, that I highly suggest you do that in wherever you're at. Hello, Gabrielle, what's going on? I see Teresa is there too. So let's get to this stuff, because there is, I'm telling you guys, we are doing way too much this month, but that's okay, because we want to make sure that we properly honor our ancestors as well as our living people who are around us who are currently making Black history. As I said, you know, shout out to Patrick Mahomes. I feel bad for the 49ers, but hey, this is how the cookie crumbles. I know I'm petty. I'm just mad the Saints didn't go to the Super Bowl. So, you know, that's a whole other issue. But anywho, let's talk about what we're doing in the world of BlackProGen when it comes to Black History Month. All right, you all. Tomorrow, as in Tuesday, right? You're used to the show coming on Tuesdays mostly, but the beginning part of February for Black History Month, we're going to be coming to you. The actual live show is going to be coming to you on Wednesdays, and we're going to have a couple chats that are going to take place on Tuesdays. If you have not participated in Crew Chat yet, you are missing out. You're probably wondering, what in the world is Crew Chat? Oh my goodness, man. Crew Chat is a Twitter chat that we host, BlackProGen Live hosts, that takes place on Tuesdays. It's at 8 p.m. Central. And this year, it's our first year doing it. We are theming each chat after movies. And so what you do is you come on Twitter around the time, maybe even before, we're going to meet. We meet at 8 p.m. Central. And so we'll have a listing of prompts or questions that you will participate in as a Twitter user and that you respond to. And as you follow the particular hashtag, in this instance, it's Crew Chat, you can see you and, of course, other people weighing in, answering questions. And so it's it's so much fun, you all. We did one for Soul Food. We did one for The Color Purple. Now we're, of course, we'd be remiss to not have Black History Month and not talk about the miniseries Roots. And so tomorrow, all of our chat is going to be about Roots, different aspects of the show or the miniseries that will help you think critically about how to apply tips and tricks to your own genealogy research. And so we're not going to be going through ad nauseum, oh my gosh, this character so and so. No, we're gonna propose certain scenarios and certain things, pull out certain aspects of the movie to help you think more critically about your research, to help you go further. And so we are so excited because we actually had LeVar Burton actually retweeted us about Crew Chat like a couple days ago. Like, me and True were just so shocked. And so we might have a bunch of new people who are going to participate that we didn't know about. And so if you're interested in participating in this, or even just following it just to see how it goes, be sure to log on to Twitter at 8 p.m. Central tomorrow night. You'll have instructions on what to do, how to answer questions. You'll get the flow of it very quickly, and the hour goes by so fast. And so please tune in for that, participate in that. Remember, this is not a live show. This is a Twitter chat. So you'll be reading instead of actually, viewing, so to speak, like you normally would for Black History Month. And so from there, we have our first of the Black History Month series that we do every single year, BlackProGen Live. This is an episode entitled Breaking Ancestral Narratives Free. And so what is this about? Well, this particular episode, if you've ever wanted to craft a narrative for your ancestors, but you weren't exactly sure where to start, this is the show for you. In this episode, we're going to discuss how to use the facts you've gathered, right? The X's and O's of your research, right? The birth dates, death dates, marriage dates, any of that other stuff. And we're going to show you how to create a narrative that can be used across all different types of media, not just a blog, not just a book, right? I am a huge proponent of us not limiting ourselves to just written products, right? Like, we need to expand these things, right? If you've been following what's been going on with the story of Madam C.J. Walker and how the book that Aaliyah Bundles, her great-great-granddaughter, wrote, has been adapted into a Netflix show that's going to be coming out. And so these are stories and things that were around all the time that I don't think people think that it's possible for these stories to be shared in a format that is not necessarily a book. It could be a podcast. It could be a series of tours that you give around your ancestral location. It could be repurposed into a lot of different things. And so, we would be remiss if we weren't talking about it. Looking at the chat, let's see. Okay, there's nothing there. It looked like somebody was saying something, but they're not. So moving forward, we've got Breaking Ancestral Narratives Free. Join us for that this Wednesday, live, same time, same bat channel. Be sure to watch that is live. That is on YouTube. And so, for me, like I said, I just want to give people other means to think about ways to share their ancestral stories instead of just our usual traditional stuff. The sky is really the limit. We've got technology, a lot of things that we can use now. And we're going to be talking at length about that on Wednesday. And so following that, we've got another Twitter chat scheduled for next Tuesday. One of my favorite shows that's on television right now. If you are not watching Queen Sugar, oh my goodness, consider doing the free trial for consider doing the free trial to get OWN, or maybe upgrade your cable package, or see if you can bum your subscription off of someone. Maybe if they can let you borrow their DirecTV stuff. I don't know. I'm not advocating for other stuff, but anywho, we're going to have a crew chat, another Twitter chat taking place on Tuesday, February 11th. So this is next week. And we're going to be talking all about the hit show Queen Sugar, which is amazing. You all, if you haven't seen it, it's about a family who has a family land and a sugar farm that they maintain. And it's a set of siblings. It's Charlie, Nova, and Ralph Angel. And there's a whole family history element to this show. And there was no way that we could do any of these crew chats on television and movies and not talk about the show Queen Sugar. And here's the thing about crew chats, you all. just because you may not have seen the show, right? Like you may not watch Queen Sugar, or maybe it's been 175 years since the last time you saw Roots. That doesn't necessarily mean that you shouldn't participate in the chat. There are still things that you can see and that you can learn, because we're talking about genealogy very broadly, right? But just under the lens of the TV shows that we're talking about. So don't be discouraged if you have never seen any of these shows that we're going to be covering. Don't feel bad like you just haven't watched it. So join us on Tuesday, February 11th, 8 p.m. Central. We're going to be talking all about Queen Sugar. All right. And then following that, the next night, you guys. So not only are you getting us this week, Tuesday and Wednesday, but you're also getting us next week, Tuesday and Wednesday as well. On Wednesday, February 12th, we're going to be talking about marriages, all about the institution of marriages, and the two souls become one. Marriage records are crucial when it comes to tracing family lines. Learn the history behind them, how to locate them, and how the information they hold can lead to more finds. That's going to be our episode live, regular way you watch BlackProGen live on YouTube. I'm going to be taping live next week, 8 p.m. Central. On Wednesday, we're going to be talking about jumping the broom, researching marriages and unions. And then the following week, we're going to come back to you on Tuesdays. You guys have to thank basketball season for these Wednesday shows. Anywho, the next show we're going to have during Black History Month, remember I told you all, we are coming to you weekly. And so we're going to be talking all about tracing slave trade in Louisiana and Mississippi on Tuesday, February 18th. This is going to be a very meaty show. Even if you do not have ancestors that were enslaved in the states of Mississippi or Louisiana, do not be short-sighted in thinking that you don't have to research those areas. Mississippi, in particular, Natchez, Forks in the Road, huge slave market there, as well as New Orleans, right? Huge pass-through locations, as well as major slave traders had operations in both of those cities, which means that maybe your ancestors weren't enslaved in Louisiana and Mississippi, but it's possible that descendants of your ancestors ended up in those particular states. And the only way that you know you have a connection to these people is through DNA. And so we're going to be talking all about the slave trade in Louisiana and Mississippi for that episode that we're tackling the third week of February. So join us on February 18th, 6 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m. for Tracing the Trade in Slavery in Slavery in Louisiana and Mississippi, BlackProGen Live Tuesday night. And then the next day, because I'm crazy, I'm going to be teaching a webinar on legacy family trees. So familytreewebinars.com. I'll go ahead and put the link there in the chat. It also is in the description of this video if you're watching it on YouTube or if you're watching it on my Facebook profile. I'm going to be doing a presentation called Newspapers for People of Color Genealogy Research. Newspapers can be a goldmine for genealogy, especially in the case of records destruction or when all other avenues have failed to yield findings on an ancestor. In this session, we'll discuss all you need to know to get the most out of using periodicals as genealogical resources for people of color communities. And I honestly feel like, I really honestly feel like newspapers are such an underutilized resource when it comes to genealogy. I have made some amazing strides in my own research with the use of newspapers. If you follow me on Facebook, you've been seeing me post some crazy stuff. Like maybe a week or so ago, I posted about a split blanket debacle or something between two parties, a husband and a wife. You'll learn more about that during this particular webinar, as well as different ways that I use different search tactics to unearth information in newspapers, the Black press, right? We've talked about this. We have an entire episode on this on BlackProGen Live, but I'm going to bring you into my search process and how I do things when it comes to researching people of color in newspapers. Let's see. Oh, goodness. Looking at comments. Gerard, I'm trying to do the most, right? I really am. He says, Gerard Miller says, you're beasting out here in these pedigree streets. I really am trying to, because I want us to have quality content and really not feel like we have to have a major operation, do any of this stuff. We really don't. We have all the know-how and all the stuff that we need. And I'm telling you, newspapers, baby, register for this webinar. It's free, right? You heard what I said? The webinar is free. Did you hear me? It's free. So I just put the link in there for you guys to register for it. So recapping, right? Because I'm still not done. We still have a lot of content. Crew chat, Twitter chat taking place tomorrow. Get in where you fit in. We're going to be talking all about roots. Then Wednesday, going to be talking about breaking ancestral narratives free. If you've thought about a book, movie, documentary, podcast, whatever it is about your ancestors, get in where you fit in. Watch us live this Wednesday. The next Tuesday, we're going to be talking about Queen Sugar on a Twitter chat. So be sure to get in where you fit in on that. Then the next night, Wednesday, February 12th, 8 p.m., we're going to be on live again on YouTube talking about marriage records. Then the following week on February 18th, we're going to be talking about tracing the slave trade in Louisiana and Mississippi. Then the next day for me, I'm going to be doing a webinar, newspapers for people of color genealogy research. Place the link inside of the chat so you guys can register for that. That's on Legacy Family Tree Webinars. It is free to watch for a week. And then after that, you're going to need a subscription either to Legacy or you can be a patron on my Patreon site, which I'll talk about that more a little bit later. Then after that, Friday, February 21st, we've started this whole series, or I have, called Figure It Out Fridays, which are webinars that continue the learning from certain episodes of BlackProGen Live. So maybe there was something that we talked about, right? Like when we talked about the 1870 and 1880 U.S. Census last month, right? In episode 101 of BlackProGen Live, I did a follow-up webinar where I traced one family between those two census records and how to extract information from those two documents. This next Figure It Out Fridays is all about saying their names, creating systems to track and document communities. And why in the world will we be worried about this? Well, let me tell you, there really aren't very many systems that we can use to track enslaved people, right? Because the community of enslaved people could be related by blood or they could not. They may just be fictive kin as a result of being enslaved together. And so, creators of software, websites, they have not made it very easy for you to track these folks. But there are ways, there are tips and tricks and hacks that you can use in order for you to be able to get the most out of what you're using and to be able to track these people successfully. And so someone said, I'm doing Black history. I'm trying. Right? Regular Black people, right? Because that's who we come from, is regular Black folks. So we got to find those regular people, right? So this webinar that I'm teaching on Legacy this is actually through my own platform. Newspapers is on Legacy, but this particular webinar that we're going through right now is going to be on my own platform. So it's Figure It Out Fridays, saying their names, systems to track and document communities, especially enslaved communities. That is going to take place Friday, February 21st. At 11 a.m. Central. Space is limited, you all, so be sure to go out and register today so you can claim your spot. Otherwise, that's the thing. It's free upon watching, and then if you want the replay access, you'll have to pay for that in the handout. As well as if you're a member of my Patreon community, you have extended access to that in certain membership tiers. So be sure to get in where you fit in on that. And then the last thing that I'm going to talk about today in terms of the world of BPG and me, sort of, is our next episode of History Unscripted. And we're going to have a special guest, Regina Jackson, who is the president and CEO of the East Oakland Youth Development Center in Oakland, California, which was a nonprofit that was started by the CEO of Clorox. I don't know if you all know, but Clorox is based and founded in Oakland, California. And so Regina brings more than 20 years of experience in youth development, working with a community that is living in and around what's called the Killer Corridor in Oakland. And so she's an amazing person to be able to add to the conversation that we're going to talk about in terms of current events with the history flair. If you haven't seen the first episode of History Unscripted, it was posted on January 28th. We've been getting a lot of really, really good feedback on it because it's a deviation from what we normally do in BlackProGen Live, right? Normally, we would have covered the current events and then, that was it. Like we didn't actually get to have the opportunity to go into depth about some of the things that we're seeing in the news. And so this new iteration of a show gives us the ability to be able to do that. And so, yeah, if you missed the first episode, be sure to go back to the YouTube channel and check that out. It posted on the 28th. Now that History Unscripted, those are all pre-recorded. So those are not live shows. So it won't be that you go on live and there's a chat and all that kind of stuff. No, these shows are pre-recorded. It's giving us a lot more latitude. You guys are not ready for some of the conversations and content that we have ready to go for that show. Just removing it from the live space gives us so much more flexibility. Like, I just can't even explain it to you all. So in addition to we've got 4 episodes of BlackProGen that we're doing live. We've got 2 Twitter chats. We've got, Roots. We've got Queen Sugar. There's a couple of webinars that I'm doing. Not only that, you guys, but there's still more. If you're going to Roots Tech, I will be at Roots Tech. So please be sure to say hello. Let me know that you're there. Also, we also have another Twitter chat in the works, but I'm not really sure if I can say anything about it because we haven't put together the promotional stuff for it. James, if you're watching still, feel free to comment on whether or not I can say something or not. If not, wait for the announcement of another Twitter chat because we're gonna have another one during the month of February. So hopefully you all do not have any questions because I pretty much laid it out. I'll go back through the slides again because I've done it about 2 or 3 times because I want to make sure you guys know everything that's going down this month because there's a lot to go. True wants to know what the clue is. It's another Twitter chat and it's about a movie that's specific to Black history, but it's not just BlackProGen who is a part of this Twitter chat. There's another organization that, okay, James says I can spill the beans. He told me I can spill the beans. Okay, come here. Okay, are you listening? All right, because you're getting this secret information. So we're going to do a Twitter chat with the African American Civil War Museum. Did you hear me? We are doing a Twitter chat in conjunction with the African American Civil War Museum in Washington, D.C. As in, when you go and see the big wall where you find your ancestors' names that served in the Civil War, that. Our Twitter chat is scheduled for February 27th, noon, and we're going to be talking about the movie Glory. Yes. So that's our additional Twitter chat. I didn't have a graphic for it yet because we're still working out some things. But this is a big deal, right? We're really excited. James, got to give a shout out to our panelist, James Morgan III, who has worked at the African American Civil War Museum in DC forever. And he got the connect to make this happen. So we're super excited about being able to do this. And yeah, so that's the last event. So as you can tell, my schedule, my Google Calendar is out of control for the month of February, but I love it because this is the month where we're supposed to do everything, right? Oh, this is for free and only because I'm sitting at my desk. But if you didn't know, Target and JCPenney's have, and if you've noticed several other retailers, there are a lot of people getting into Black History Month, you all. They've got Black History Month stuff. Target, they started theirs last year, hugely successful. You go into their stores, you can find a whole Black History section with t-shirts and all kinds of stuff. And JCPenney's also has one, and I have not taken my stuff out of the bag because it was sitting here on my desk, but they've got t-shirts, all sorts of stuff. So here are the 2 that I bought. So be sure to go to your JCPenney's. These are $10. They're not expensive. And this one is make every month Black History Month because absolutely it needs to be, right? For me, 24/7, 365. So I got this at JCPenney's yesterday. And I got this other one. Yes, JCPenney's. Yes, that, look, I don't ever shop at JCPenney's. It's not a millennial or Gen X real store. But JCPenney's sometimes be having some good sales. And so they have these, yes. There's another one. Black Power, Love, Pride, and Love. And then if Teresa's watching, notice they have Madagascar on this one, because typically with t-shirts and stuff or paraphernalia with Africa, they always leave off at Madagascar, but they actually have Madagascar on this one. And so there are several other shirts. You can get this stuff online. So if you can't make it to a JCPenney's or a Target to get your paraphernalia and whatnot, you can order online. They've got pins, limited edition vinyl albums, books, everything you guys can think of. Karen Royal says, I'm gonna make her go to Penny's today. Girl, yeah, these were $10. Right? You can't, for me, I never have a shortage of black shirts or black history shirts. Like, I don't. They have hoodies that say, like, know your roots on the arm and stuff like that. Yeah, like, it's like major. So, Penny's, Target, I even saw, Lord, today, I even saw that there was an Afro backpack that you could get at Sally's if you spent a certain amount of money. I saw that yesterday. Even Sally's got. Target made so much of an impression last year, you all, for Black History Month, that every other retailer is running toward the opportunity for them to do Black History Month content. And, we gonna buy what we see, right? So, oh my goodness. Okay. So Michael's, according to Belinda, thank you, Belinda, for saying this. Michael's Arts and Crafts Store has shirts and other stuff for Black History Month. I did not know that. Wow. Okay. So we got to check out Michael's. So be sure to maybe go on their website, see what they have. And wow, I did not know that. That is pretty awesome. Like I said, Target made a mark last year. It was super obvious. That what they did was successful, was curated. If you go to their site, just type in Target Black History Month, they have a whole site, same thing for JCPenney. So if you don't want to go to the store, or maybe, you're worried that they might not have your size, go online, look, there's pens, there's notebooks, there's hair care products, beauty products, everything is curated towards Black History Month. I know, I'm sorry, I'm going to make you guys lose all your money. Tiara says that Walmart has Rosa Parks Barbie online. So if you want to do that as well, you have access to that. So, all right, before I jump off, I'm going to go through this stuff again because I want to make sure you guys know everything that's going on. Crew chat tomorrow. Join us. Roots, 8 p.m. Central, February 4th, tomorrow, Tuesday. Then we're going to come back to you Wednesday, February 5th, 2020, Breaking Ancestral Narratives Free. If you've had that podcast, book, documentary, whatever it is about your ancestor, and you don't know how to move from the facts to the actual story, creating a narrative that will fuel whatever it is you want to produce, tune in on Wednesday live on YouTube for BlackProGen Live. Then we'll be doing another Twitter chat Tuesday, February 11th, 8 p.m. Central, Queen Sugar. Even if you haven't seen the show, you can still learn something. In fact, I highly encourage you guys to look at the crew chat, just the hashtag, to see kind of what happens during crew chat. You can see people interacting, sharing gifts, all sorts of stuff. So tune in to or participate in the crew chat taking place on Tuesday, February 11th about Queen Sugar. Then the next night, Wednesday, February 12th, we're going to be talking all about marriage records live on BlackProGen Live, 8 p.m. Central. Then the next week, Tuesday, February 18th, we're going to be talking about tracing the slave trade in Louisiana and Mississippi. And even if you don't have ancestors that you think were enslaved there, you might have DNA matches that tie to these two states. So this would be a crucial show for you to watch so you can figure out maybe some leads that you can figure out how you guys are connected as a result of slavery. Of course, I've got the webinar going down, the Family Tree webinars, Wednesday, February 19th, 1 p.m. Central, all about newspapers for people of color genealogy research. Be sure to register for that. Then I have another webinar taking place Friday, February 21st, 11 a.m. Central, saying their name, systems to track and document communities. If you've had the hardest time connecting folks who may or may not be related and you don't have a way or a system to be able to find information quickly or to trace them, this is the webinar for you to watch and register for. And then, of course, we've got Tuesday, February 25th is the publishing date or post date for the next iteration of History Unscripted featuring Regina Jackson, who is from the East Oakland Youth Development Center. And of course, don't forget to join me at Roots Tech. Say hello if you're coming. We also have the February 27th crew chat, all about glory with the African American Civil War Museum in DC. So yeah, wow, that's it. So hopefully you guys can get in where you fit in. You can visit whoisnikasmith.com. I've got schedules there for the majority of this stuff. I'll be posting stuff, you'll probably get tired of me posting stuff about it on social media. Be sure to share with friends, anyone that you think has a remote interest in genealogy, family history. This is the right time to get them energized about it, is during Black History Month, because we always see a boon in people wanting to reconnect with their roots, learn information, and not even, we really don't need to make it about the luminaries, you all. As I posted a few days ago, regular ass people deserve our attention as well. They deserve to be on mugs and t-shirts and all this other stuff. So be sure to amplify your regular folks, because, without them, we would not be here, and, they don't get enough love. So anywho, all right, you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.